Hi again, guys. This is example 2 for 5.3. So now we're given some properties of a function and we're asked to represent the function in two ways. So we're given that the amplitude, sorry, I just want to get a different color here. We're given that the amplitude is 2, the period is 3 pi, and there is a maximum value of 0.3 on the function. And we need to write the two different functions to represent this, two equations to represent this function. So the first thing to notice is that since the maximum value is 0.3, that means it's on the y-axis. So that would suit a cos function well, because there would be no phase shift. So let's start with a cos function. Write down our general equation here of a transformed cos function. We're given the amplitude. We can find the k value by using our formula for the 2 pi over the period. So in this case that would be 2 pi over 3 pi, which is 2/3. There is no phase shift, as we said, because the maximum value is on the y-axis. And there is, normally, since the amplitude is 2, normally my max value would be 2, right? But I'm told that my max value is 3. So that means we've shifted up 1. So my c value is +1. So that gives me a function of y equals 2 cos 2/3 x plus 1. Second way that I can represent the function would be as a sine function. So my general equation for that is as follows. And does the amplitude change? No, the amplitude is still 2. Does the k value change? No, the k value is still 2/3, as we found on the previous page with our formula for k, which depends on the period. There may be a phase shift because sine doesn't start in the same place as cos, but my c value, vertical shift, will not change, so that's still +1. So the only thing I need to deal with is the phase shift. Let's have a look again at this function. So we said that it starts at a maximum of 0.3 on the y-axis. The period, we were told, is 3 pi. So just recall that the important points on a sine or cos function are quarter periods apart. So starting at the max, the next quarter period point would be on the x-axis. The next quarter period point would be the minimum value. The next would be on the x-axis, and then we'd be back to the maximum value. These points are quarter periods apart because there's 4 sections. So if my period is 3 pi, then what is a quarter period for this graph? It would be 3 pi over 4. Okay? That means that the next point on the negative side of the y-axis would be -3 pi over 4, because that's the next important point to the left of the y-axis, and the quarter periods are 3 pi over 4. So if I'm doing a sine graph, I want it to start at the x-axis, then I can simply either shift it back to -3 pi over 4 or shift it forward to 3 pi over 4. I'm just going to go ahead and shift it back. So that means my d value is -3 pi over 4. And so my function becomes y equals 2 sine 2/3 x plus 3 pi over 4 because of this negative over here. It's minus negative also because I'm shifting to the left and I need the opposite sign here, plus 1.